Good evening, everyone. You're listening to WRAP. That's We Rap. We represent all the people all the time, the voice of the people. This is where you get the raw truth about what is really going on in your community. I'm Reverend Jimmy James, and it's an honor to be with you this evening. And a special guest that we have, a good friend of mine, but also someone who is a powerful man of God. It's my honor to introduce to you Pastor Charles Allen, who is the pastor of Ruach Deliverance Ministries along with his wife, and also the executive director of Reclaiming Our Expected Ends. Welcome, Pastor Charles Allen. How are you doing today?
It's good to be with you today, sir.
Oh man, it's just an honor you be here, and it's not just that he's here right now. Earlier today, he was out doing ministry. I was up there with him. He was assisting not only me, but he was assisting a number of people who needed food, and he was out there leading and guiding and unloading trucks, and he's just a person who really cares about helping people. Pastor, tell us a little bit about your ministry, Reclaiming Our Expected Ends.
Reclaiming Our Expected Ends was a program that we created back in 2017, and the intention was to, with the program when we first started, was we had a restorative justice approach.
Okay.
And the restorative justice piece was to restore people who were coming out of prison. And sometimes when people come out of prison, they don't have a platform or a place to go, and we were those people that met them when they came out to give them resources and a fresh start when they come out of prison.
Fantastic. And so them coming out of prison, you said restorative justice. What everybody doesn't understand what was being restored.
Well, actually, the individuals were being restored with behavior modification. So a little bit about that is that when people come out of prison, they're not the only one that has to be restored, but the victim has to be restored.
Oh, okay.
Now, so we use a mediation piece, right, between the victim, if they want to, so that the healing process can begin. Because oftentimes when they come out, they don't really have a chance to reconcile with the victim, right? And if we can provide that mediation so they can be restored back to the community. So we provide that mediation so they are able to talk about it and actually bring them to the healing process. So that restorative piece is very, very important when people coming out of prison.
So literally what you're doing is helping the people who are returning from incarceration back into the community. You're one of the restoring or returning processes is to at least have the willingness or the ability to say, I want to do some restoration or restore the victim. Tell me, what if the victim doesn't want to have contact with that person?
Well, if the victim don't want to have contact with that person, what we do is bring them to a cognitive behavior therapy program where actually sometimes people have trauma and they don't really know they have it. And once you bring them to their program and we're able to help them recognize, the things about themselves, the trauma or the rejection or whatever, and let that healing process begin. So we take them to a step-by-step process, personality test, and different things to find out the identity or who they really are as people, right? Sometimes people recognize people as Bad Joe, Joe Rakam, Sam Blockhead, you know what I mean?
Right.
Who did this and that, right? But when they are recognized that they have gifts, that they have talents, they learn new ideals, new concepts, new behaviors, and where actually they have a new mindset. And so what we do in those programs are bring them through those processes so that they can understand more about themselves. Those character traits change when they're able to understand who they really are. And so they really have skill sets. They really have all these things inside them, but they just really don't know how to pull them out. So our program helped pull those things out.
Oh, that sounds exciting. So literally, there's probably someone who probably did bank robberies or home robberies, and they had a skill set, and they learned to take that skill set and use it in a positive manner.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
We can take it and turn it around so they can use it in a positive manner. For example, if a person, manipulated people and did all kind of different things, so we can teach them about negotiation skills. Not only negotiation, but determination and communication and those different skills that we teach. That if a person said that, for example, if a person wanted to sell a car for $2,500, but we know the median price would be $2,000, so we get our guy to start at $1,800, and so we know we're going to wind up at $2,000. You know what I mean? We teach them those kind of negotiating skills through our workshops and programs.
To help them recognize their true gifts and turn
In a
them around
positive way.
In a positive way.
Positive
Now
way.
that cognitive behavior therapy, that sounds powerful. Tell me your ministry part. I know you're the executive director of Reclaiming Our Expected End, but the ministry part of Ruach Deliverance Ministry. How do you see your ministry and the work that you do with Reclaiming Our Expected End? How do you see that coexisting and working together? What's the impact of your ministry on?
I see it as like intertwining, right? But we know that in the ministry piece, that since we're outreach ministry and it's all about helping people being delivered, right, from themselves, right? Sometimes they have to be delivered from themselves, and we know if we're going to take them through that process and let them know, say, look, this thing about you that you don't really know about yourself, if we can help you transform that so that you can see who you really are, then it makes sense to say, okay, all right, Ruach is doing this part. Or let me mention, my wife is the founder of Ruach Deliverance Ministry, Christine Allen. Okay. She is the founder of Ruach Deliverance Ministry. So her part and my part working together as a team to help to restore people, right? If we're going to restore people and bring healing to their lives, then we can say we can use the restorative justice piece, like we were talking about earlier, yeah? By bringing healing, by bringing reconciliation, by letting the guys understand who they are as individuals. So those take a process, so intertwined, so the guys get to pray, the guys get to understand that, they are somebody. Because a lot of times they come out with no self-worth, no determination, no communication skill, nothing, right? Until we actually help restore them. So, because, I think some of the work that we did in the past is that, we said that you're no longer called a convict or inmate. You're a returning community member, right? You just went somewhere and you're back, now you're being restored.
Right.
And so if they can go through those processes and go through those programs that we have, I guarantee that. So we have done it over and over again and saw the transformation in those people's lives.
Fantastic. You're listening to WRAP. We represent all the people. We rap, the voice of the people. I'm Reverend Jimmy James, and I'm having a powerful conversation with Pastor Charles Allen, the co-pastor of Ruach Deliverance Ministry and executive director of Reclaiming Our Expected Ends. Pastor, tell me about this pandemic and your work that you're doing in the community.
This pandemic have caused a lot of people to suffer, right? And it's really a catastrophe, man, because there's so many people that really are not getting the help that they need. So we knew I partnered with an organization named BEST, right? And because we know in Seattle that they used to give these homeless people showers, but they're not doing that anymore. And so I partnered with another organization named BEST, and we're going to start giving the people showers in Auburn, so that we're trying to meet the needs of those who are suffering the most, right? With food service, not only food service, showering, mentoring, and whatever we can do to restore those people, because those are the individuals that need the most help, those who are suffering out in the streets during this pandemic. So I think during this pandemic, we really realized that we all each other have, right? So the other organizations gotta come together and build a collaboration, right? And through building consensus with one another so that we can meet the community need. And so it's when we come together, we are a powerful group to be reckoned with, right? When all the organizations come together, share resources and help these people who are suffering the most. Not only the homeless people, there are people who live in apartments, don't have food, can't pay their rent, can't pay their utilities. So when our organizations come together, we're able to help those organizations. So I also work with another organization called ATB, DC Productions, right? And we did a program a couple of months ago doing the cognitive behavior piece. And it was so powerful, we were able to do the census piece as well as the program that we were doing. So it was a powerful program because we're able to meet like 25 or 26 people needs and bring them through those programs. And they had other resources that we were able. So with that program and Restoration House and all those programs came together, we were able to meet the community needs.
So what you're saying is that the more that the community comes together, and you being a pastor, especially the churches, right?
Yes.
If they come together, and we can do more.
We can get more of the work done in the community because it's not about no name recognition or who you are and this and that. It's just community coming together and helping this brother who is in need, right? We bring those community together. It's powerful when we bring those community together because they know that they have a need during this epidemic and this pandemic that's going on right now. So we need all the leaders to come together with resources to meet the community needs. Right, we're in Kent, we're in Auburn, we're in Tacoma, we're in Seattle. So we need all the leaders to come together so we can meet those needs.
Fantastic. That is powerful, powerful, powerful. Do you have let's close, do you have a story of a family or someone that you served that made an impact and a difference to you?
Oh man, it was so powerful. It was a family that didn't know Christ, right? And it was on the Easter Sunday. And it was crazy because it was my own family in California. And they didn't know Christ, right? And we did a face-to-face message that Sunday, man. And they gave their lives to Christ. That was one of the most powerful things that I experienced during this pandemic, man. They said, man, that we don't want to live like this no more. We can't do this anymore. So we need God in our life. He said, Papa, if you can do anything, just pray for me and pray that I know Jesus as Lord and Savior of my life. And it brought me to tears. I fought off the tears while I was trying to preach the message at the same time because it's like, you do a lot of people in the community, right? You know what I mean? But it's like something very powerful when it's your own siblings crying out for help, you know what I mean? Any type of way I could lead them and guide them and direct them, man, into the truth, to knowing who Christ is as Lord and Savior, I'm going to do it, bro.
Fantastic. Well, Pastor Charles, I just really appreciate the work that you're doing in the community. I appreciate that. I want to encourage you to continue to do that work, yes. And I'll be praying for that unity in the community, especially with the body of Christ in the churches. I'm glad that you have that on your heart,
yes.
to do that. You are listening to Reverend Jimmy James with WRAP. That is RAP, the voice of the people. You just finished listening to our conversation with Pastor Charles Allen. We want to make sure that you can be part of the work that he's doing also. What number should they call if they want to get a hold of you, Pastor?
They can get a hold of me at 253-205-770. And also they can get in touch with me through weroe.org.
Okay, you heard it first here on WRAP. And until next week, it's a wrap.